Welcome back to the channel, History Fans. Today, we're diving into an event that redrew the map of Europe and set the stage for almost a century of relative peace. It's one of the most important diplomatic meetings in history, the Congress of Vienna. Let's see how a group of powerful leaders, diplomats, and monarchs reshaped Europe after the fall of Napoleon. By 1814, Europe had been ravaged by over a decade of war. Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor, had conquered much of the continent, spreading revolutionary ideals while creating chaos in the process. But after a series of defeats, the coalition of European powers, Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia, finally managed to defeat him, sending him into exile on the island of Elba. With Napoleon defeated, Europe was in shambles, and the monarchs of Europe knew something had to be done to restore order. And that's where the Congress of Vienna comes in. It was time to hit the reset button on Europe. From September 1814 to June 1815, the city of Vienna became the center of the political world. Representatives from nearly every European country gathered in this Austrian capital to figure out how to restore stability. It was a massive event, but it wasn't all serious business. Imagine diplomats negotiating during the day and at night attending grand balls, parties, and concerts. At the heart of the Congress were the big four powers: Austria, led by Foreign Minister Prince Clemens von Metternich; Russia, under Tsar Alexander I; Britain, represented by Foreign Secretary Viscount Castlereagh; and Prussia, led by King Frederick William III. France, despite being the defeated power, was also given a seat at the table, represented by the cunning diplomat Charles Maurice de Talleyrand. The key goal of the Congress of Vienna was to restore the balance of power in Europe, meaning no single country should be strong enough to dominate the continent, like France had done under Napoleon. To do this, the diplomats redrew the map of Europe. Some of the biggest changes? France's borders were rolled back to where they were before Napoleon's rise. Austria was given control of much of northern Italy. Prussia gained territory in the west, including parts of Germany, and Russia was given a chunk of Poland. This reshuffling aimed to strengthen the countries surrounding France, creating a barrier to prevent future French expansion. Another key principle that guided the Congress was the idea of legitimacy, the restoration of the old monarchies that Napoleon had overthrown. The Congress sought to put Europe back together as it had been before the Revolution and wars. Kings, queens, and emperors were restored to their thrones across the continent, including the Bourbon monarchy in France. But while the Congress aimed to restore the old order, it wasn't completely stuck in the past. The diplomats knew they couldn't ignore the social and political changes brought about by the French Revolution. They tried to find a balance between old-world monarchy and the new ideas of governance and nationalism that were starting to spread. So what was the impact of the Congress of Vienna? It's considered one of the most successful peace settlements in history. The system it created maintained peace in Europe for nearly a century until World War I, but it wasn't without its problems. While the Congress managed to prevent major wars for a long time, it didn't stop smaller conflicts and revolutions. Nationalist and liberal movements, inspired by the ideas of the French Revolution, would continue to challenge the old order. In fact, by 1848, many European countries were rocked by revolutions against monarchies and conservative rule. So what's the big takeaway from the Congress of Vienna? It was a landmark moment in international diplomacy, showing that even after years of brutal warfare, nations could come together to negotiate peace. But the compromises they made set the stage for future conflicts and revolutions, as new ideas of democracy and nationalism clashed with the old order. What do you think? Was the Congress of Vienna a success or a missed opportunity? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep up with all of our history explorations. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, remember that history is always shaping the present.